Good morning and welcome to RC Truth Media. A true republic is a state in which the supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives, and has an elected or nominated president rather than a monarch. Now, what is a election? Let's go look at what an election is. So now we know what a republic is. What is an election? A formal and organized process of electing or being elected, especially of members of political body, the act or an instance of electing. An organized process. Okay, you want a true election. Let's see what a true election should be. Election not rigged. How to rig an election? Well, they've been doing this by a lot of different ways. The number one way is gerrymandering. Well, what do they do in gerrymandering? This is when the districts are drawn out by the legislature, usually a few people. Now they have a commission, which just changed a few years back in California, but this has actually done more good to the Democrats instead of making it more bipartisan deal. It's actually favored more to the Democrats. Now, let's get back to this gerrymandering, okay, for a second. Now, a perfect representation would be to draw out the districts, take the majority, and label that district whatever the majority of the population. For instance, this one we have 2 red districts, 3 blue, and this is a perfect representation of how you should draw them, right? In these lanes, sections, true sections would have actual good representation. Now let's go to an unfair one. Okay, you see how they drew the districts over here to get it more so towards the Democrats, the blue. Now you have 5 blue districts with 0 red districts. But you see this is usually how they are drawn out, something of this nature. Now you have 3 red districts, 2 blue districts to make it look a lot more, like it wasn't done on purpose. This one looks too just right out there in the open. Like, yeah, you could tell that one was fake. This one, yeah, you kind of ambiguous, okay? Now, what's going on? Gerrymandering, drawing political boundaries to give your party a numeric advantage over opposing party. If you find the notion confusing, well, I just explained it to you, but this has been going on for some time. Ideally, we want the representation to be 50-50, but guess what? The legislature, the people that are making the laws, the ones in office, like the governors, the senators, these are the ones that get to draw out. Usually the governor gets to draw out where these districts are. Okay, and remember I told you that California, they had something new that was happening. Instead of drawing out these districts by a couple of people, they now have a commission. Okay, it's called the Redistricting Commission, California's Redistricting Commission. And this is a assessment that came out by Eric McGee. He was assessing the effects on partisan fairness and competitiveness. Okay, what is partisan? We know that is one party, meaning Democrat or Republican. So it's not a good thing when it's partisan, when it says effects on partisan fairness. I don't think there's such thing as that. Not in today's day and age when you have such biasness going on. Okay, so what does this have to say? The creation of the Citizen Redistricting Commission in 2008 was a radical departure from California's previous redistricting process, which had been directed by the legislature with little public input and had no official rationale. Many hoped that in addition to meeting legally mandated representation and geographical goals, the CRC would produce electoral maps that would be more fair to the 2 major parties and more competitive than previously done by their legislature. This report evaluates election outcomes under the new CRC plan using two measures of partisan gerrymandering, as well as established metrics of competitiveness. Now, what does it have to say? It says the CRC largely satisfied expectations that it would produce plans that are fair to each major party and then increase electoral competitiveness. So yeah, they satisfied the expectation. Big wow, right? What else did they find out? While Democrats have a greater advantage under this plan than they did under the former plan, this advantage is very small. So under this new plan, Democrats have a greater advantage than they already did. For the state legislature, the advantage falls within the nationwide range. For Congress, the advantage is by some measures at the high end of Democratic advantage nationwide. The size and direction of advantage under the CRC plan varies over time. The typical election year has featured a small advantage under both the CRC and legislative plans. The CRC maps are somewhat more competitive than the maps drawn by the legislature. Competitiveness under the CRC state legislative plan remains low compared to plans in other states. This is not good, okay? While the CRC congressional plan is one of the most competitive in the country. So it still remains low with this new plan where the commission gets to draw these districts, and competitiveness still remains low. That means it's still very partisan, meaning we still have gerrymandering going on, and still something needs to be done, more so than just these commissions, small commissions. I think you need more people in these commissions, okay? SC plans have moved California in the opposite direction from the rest of the country. Other state plans are on average more favorable to Republicans and less competitive than plans from the last round of redistricting. Okay, so this saying California is moving in the opposite direction. Other state plans are on average more favorable to Republicans and less competitive than plans from the last round of redistricting. Okay, so this is saying that the rest of the nation is moving to more favorable towards Republicans, and maybe that is because the rest of the nation is feeling the policies of the Republicans more so than the Democrats. Okay, like they want to be protected from these illegal immigrants. They want to cut taxes. They want to be more responsible for our money. You know, I think the American people are wanting this, and they're seeing that this should be done. And what are the Democrats, what are they running on right now? They're running on open borders. They're running on higher taxes. And who wants this? There's lots of liberals out there that don't want higher taxes. Okay? And so really, I don't see why there's so many Democrats in California. I think they're just getting fooled by the rhetoric. You know, if you actually look at the policies, do you really want those policies? Higher taxes, more and more debt. If they looked at it and tried to make sense of it all, I think they would find a different conclusion, but that's just me. Okay, I really do think we need to do something about this gerrymandering, having the districts drawn. Okay, so you're gonna have, and this has a major impact on how our nation goes and what happens in our states, right here, the way the districts are drawn. Okay, because you could see if when it's a red or blue district determines the way that what type of people you're going to have in the legislative process, if you're going to have Republicans making the laws or Democrats making the laws. So basically, if Democrats are in charge, they're going to make it and then try to keep it to where the Democrats are in charge. And we need to make this not so partisan. We need to move away from this partisan stuff and move towards a community. Let's look at republics all around the world, okay, and what we've been brainwashed to believe. There's a Republic of China, but we're told that's communism, where the people are controlled. They have a People's Republic of China. They also have a People's Republic in Russia. People's Republic of China, and there it is. And People's Republic of Korea, So all these places that we're taught, that's the people having a true republic. Communism, what is commune? Like, break bread. Basically, everybody's gonna eat. We're not gonna have no poverty. Communism. Okay, we're taught to believe that this is bad. Political theory. Well, let's look at commune, community. Okay, what is commune? And union? A group of people living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities. This is actually what it is, okay? Can we all just come together, share our possessions and our responsibilities? That way we can all eat, we can all have, if we actually did this, think of how wealthy we could be. All of us just looking out for the benefit of society, trying to have the best possible society we can. And not the bullshit communism that we're taught, Marxist crap. Okay, we don't want that kind of communism. We want to get together and have the best true republic possible. Nothing that's been done before. Alright, thank you again for joining and come checking out what I have to say. RC Truth Media is over and out, and I'll see you another day.